What's going on YouTube? Zach with Cardstock Exchange coming at you with another video. So today we're going to do our first reaction video. So recently watched this Overrated, Underrated by GaryVee. Did give it one watch before I decided to review it. And I gotta say, he has a lot of good things that I actually agree with in the video. So we're gonna get into it. A couple things, have different opinions on, but we'll get into the video and I'll do my reaction. Before we get started, make sure to follow us on social, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, anywhere that there is social media, you will find our account. And got the Starbucks, so we're good to go. Nice Friday day, done with classes for the day. So what better thing to do than to make a YouTube video? So let's get into it.
Hey everybody, it's GaryVee Nerdchuck, and this is another episode of Overrated, Underrated with me, GaryVee.
Overrated or underrated, what does Gary think?
Let's get into the show.
Okay, you gonna do something?
I am gonna do something. You can keep that whole thing. Maybe we'll black it out. Let's do a little ode there to ask her. Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to D-Rock, good to see you. This is a very special episode of Overrated, Underrated. This is the sports card edition. One thing with the explosion of this show is I think I'm gonna use it to answer the questions that I get bombarded with on text, 212-931-5731, on DM, on social. I see it all, but I'm busy. I'm working all the time. I'm doing my personal life stuff. So it's hard to answer them all. I'm gonna use Overrated, Underrated occasionally as a catch-all. This is the sports card edition. PSA, underrated. It is the establishment. As you know, D-Rock and others, I love SGC. I think there's a...
All right, so I'm gonna try and not pause this so often. But for you guys who don't know, PSA is pretty much the kingpin, other than Beckett and SGC. GaryVee happens to like SGC a lot. I'm not a huge fan of their casing. I think it could be improved upon, as well as their grading process. I've seen a lot of people buy SGC 10s that have crossed over to PSA 8s and 9s, sometimes even 7s. So I will say PSA is probably underrated, just because it is the kingpin. So I'll agree with him on that one.
Base for BGS. I think there's some other emerging players. I do think long-term maybe there's a computer that comes along and takes the humans out of it. But the group that just bought PSA is some professional-ass motherfuckers. And
shout out to the Nat Turner group for buying PSA.
I expect big things from them, and I'm a big fan, as you know. I'm betting on the jockey over the horse. If you go back to that Jack Welch post, maybe we'll pop that up right here, that I posted on Instagram the other day when we talked about Bezos.
Jeff Bezos.
Big balls.
Oh.
Love them. Big hairy balls.
Oh God.
In 2015, we just both loved them because we were betting on the jockey. It continued to play out. I believe in the jockeys that now run PSA. For everybody who's watching this, PSA is the grading company. Maybe we can throw an image here and circle it. That is they grade cards on a 10-point scale. This is the most respected grading company, the leader in the space. And so I think it's underrated because I think there's new leadership that will make it stronger, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Alternative rookies.
Alternative rookies are grossly underrated. Let's do some editing in this one. I'm obsessed with the Nike and Interlake Jordan. I'm obsessed with the Messi sticker. I'm obsessed with, Jesus, I'm trying to think of there's a weird Stockton rookie card from Europe that's a year before his rookie. There's a donut version of a Pippen rookie card from 87, not 88. There's the Barkley JMS from 85, not 86. When there's the Hank Aaron rookie card, the cookies. There's these alternative rookie cards that there's a Pat Riley Jack in the Box. These weird companies, I view them as contemporary art. I think what you're living through now with sports cards is the Pablo, is kind of like the old school European art, the Jordan.
All right, so I'll jump in here. So alternative rookies are interesting because, as we know, the Jordan Fleer will outsell the Jordan Star, which was technically the first year, right? So in terms of market demand, the market clearly demands the true rookie, not like these alternative ones. But if you're asking purely underrated or overrated, I would have to agree that they're underrated just because of the price point, right? I think they're underpriced compared to their true rookies. So if you're going by that metric, I would have to agree. They are underrated.
Jordans, the Mona Lisa shit, the Jordans, the Mantles. But I think as this industry explodes, people are gonna look at supply and demand. And if you look at the supply of these weird rookie cards, there's so much less than the established Topps and Fleer version. So all it needs is demand. And as people get bored, and as people get creative, and as other dynamics happen, as other people get excited about things, this always happens in every sector. I think alternative rookie cards are some of the biggest money.
That actually is very true. When it comes to supply and demand, all it does take is a little bit of demand, because the supply has always been there. We saw that with Pokemon, we saw that with soccer, and now we're seeing that with baseball cards, that people are looking for alternative paths to invest their money, and they're like, well, shoot, basketball and football are kind of, the price points are so high because we've already pumped up so much money into it. Where else can we put our money? And I think he is right that we're going to see other sectors of the hobby get that money and that attention.
Money makers and cards. Stickers, it's funny, I just mentioned the messy thing. Like, I'm a big fan of the sticker culture in Europe.
Damn, I remember going to Europe in like 2013 and 2012 and buying the hell out of those stickers. That is so funny. God, I still have my sticker books from those years. So yeah, stickers are pretty cool. I don't know about a collectability standpoint for long-term investing, but yeah, we'll get into that in a sec.
It's very simple. Stickers, Panini stickers, and others, but mainly Panini stickers. European soccer cards are actually stickers, right? And so, to me, as soccer, proper football gets bigger in the US, the predominant market, you see it with the Mbappe sticker, right? You see it with other stickers, Maradona, ZZ, you see it with other stickers, they're exploding. So I think stickers in general are interesting, specifically for me, NBA stickers, because the Luka, Zion, all that stuff, the stickers, pretty rare, hard to grade, much tinier marketplace than the cards. I think stickers in general continue to get bigger because, and I'm not talking 86, 87 Fleer Jordan stickers, which were stickers and cards, I mean actually stickers, standalone stickers. I like that whole space quite a bit because I think European proper football culture continues to matter. Those are stickers, and so I think stickers are sneaky. Underrated.
All right, I think this is one of the few places I'm going to disagree. I think that they're a little overrated. I would not, if I was investing my money, I don't think stickers are the best place to go. You're literally going to rely on like a demand hike for the prices to go up, right? And I think the demand's just going to stick elsewhere. I think it's going to stick to those true rookies, possibly the alternative rookies like he was mentioning. In terms of stickers, yeah, I don't know if I would justifiably say start transitioning your money over into that space.
Luka base Prism PSA 10.
Overrated. Oh my goodness, this is like such a debate in the hobby, like what to do with all these PSA 10 Prism rookies. I'm just gonna say long term they might be underrated just because he could be like a top 20 player all time, but you see this stuff with like Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki, all these really good players who have like Topps Chrome, which is like the original Panini Prism, and those are significantly undervalued compared to like a Luka, right? And do you really think, I'm not saying Luka's not going to be good, but we already know Tim Duncan's like top 15, we know Dirk Nowitzki's like top 20, right? Even if Luka breaks into that stratosphere, these are already like $1,500 a card. They were at $2,000, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know at a price point if these are underrated, but I would say right now they're definitely overrated just because there's so many of them.
Luka base Prism PSA 10. What's the population on that?
26,214, 15,375 PSA 10s.
One more time, how many PSA 10s?
15,000.
15,000. What I'm asking for is the population. How many are there perfectly graded by the top company PSA? 15,000. So I think about supply and demand. This one's a very hard one for me, similar to just rating Zion in the last episode, the human, not the card. I think Luka's so good and will fall into that top 20 players of all time category if he doesn't get hurt. Derrick Rose, right? That I'm scared to say overrated, but I'm scared about the population because there's 15,000 plus of these. There's still a ton in wax. Talking about 25,000 probably in circulation. That takes a lot of demand. There's also a ton of other Luka cards, including the super premiums that we didn't have for Barkley, Hakeem, Ewing, other top 50 players.
That's actually a great point to consider because when it comes to Jordan rookies, what do you think about? Fleer. That was pretty much the only one, right? They didn't have like the NT, these Revolution, contenders, all these rookie autos and rookies, right? So if we're treating PSA as that kind of like commoditized asset, right, that we're just trading, or like, all right, whatever the PSA 10 Prism is at kind of determines the market value. He has a good point. There's a lot of Luka rookies out there versus just like the old school players who only had like one. So take that into consideration.
Where there's only the Fleer rookie. In the next 3 years, it could be underrated, but I'm gonna go with properly rated, because even though long term I think it could be overrated, he just might end up being so good that 25,000's not enough against the supply against the demand.
2018 Panini Prism Kylan Mbappe.
The Mbappe Prism rookie, I think that's grossly overrated. I think soccer, grossly overrated. I think soccer stickers is the culture and will be the culture, and I think that's the rookie card. The Mbappe first Prism, what's the population on that?
But 2,309 PSA 10.
Yeah, I'm not as high on that. A lot of people are obsessed with Prism in general. I'm a little less obsessed with Prism. It's an incredible product. I'm about it, but I'm gonna go with overrated. Even though I think Mbappe is an incredible talent.
I'm gonna keep this one simple. Everything you just said, completely agree with. Prism is very, not overrated as a product, it's cool, but the fact that we're kind of treating it like this, like such high stature, right? Like I remember when Prism was like $1 a card for a rookie, right? So especially with this soccer stuff, I think they're very overrated. Just for the price point, right? Like this card, I don't know exactly number off the top of my head. I thought it reached 3 to 4K, right? That's just insane. So yeah, I agree. Overrated.
As a soccer football player.
Marvel cards.
Marvel cards are underrated. I think comic book cards is something I'm starting to try to. Oh, by the way, I want to give how many I have of these cards. I think that'd be good transparency. So start one more time. PSA.
You mean the Luka base?
Luka base. I think I have 183 of those. But if you remember, throwback video. This card was $35 when I started buying it a year ago. That Luka rookie's now $75. I was telling everybody on social media only 30 days ago to buy them, they were $40. Wow. It is now over $400, TikTok. Sports cards are coming. Get educated, get cash. I bought almost all of them for under $70 a piece. As a matter of fact, I've never paid over $70 for the Luka.
I don't know anymore, but when I did own them, I had the same logic. I bought them for under $70 a piece and $20 ungraded. So that tells you how far the market's come in like a year.
So throw back a little video there. So I have about 185 of those. What was the next card?
Mbappe.
Mbappe I have none, but I have like 10 or 15 of the stickers. But you know, a lot of this is gonna be, I'm buying the way I believe.
Marvel card.
Marvel cards I have like 6 random weird things I bought, which were like stickers from the 70s. None of the modern 90, 91 stuff, but I think it's underrated, and I think I'm about to start doing some real investigation, because I think, you know, listen, like I've said, that Charizard can't tear his ACL, the Hulk, Batman, Superman, there's some 1940 Superman cards I'm starting to look at. I think in general, DC and Marvel comic book cards can have a moment.
I don't know, man. You put Charizard in the arena with Jordan and LeBron. Gonna get dunked on. We don't know what happens next. But in all seriousness, I have no idea with Marvel cards. So I'm just gonna pass. I don't have enough knowledge on the Marvel card market to give my honest opinion on that. So I will cede my opinion on this round.
Underrated.
2001 Upper Deck Tiger Woods.
2001 Upper Deck Tiger Woods. I have 100 BGS 9.5s. Just trying to give my transparency. I think, you know, you're catching me right in between the week. I'm sure we'll probably post this next week, which means the documentary on HBO is done, because the second part comes out this Sunday. And we'll probably put this out on Tuesday, so it just ended. I think there was because of the Last Dance documentary, everybody wants to buy cards before documentaries. Last Dance was a phenomenon. I think super long term, that card, what's the population on that?
21,323.
And then there's
9,000 PSA 10.
Yeah, I think it's overrated. I'm gonna go with overrated. I think, especially right now, I think super long term it can work out. I do think the Sports Illustrated version and the SP authentic versions are gonna be the ones for Tiger. It's Tiger. If he gets weirdly hot again and wins a couple more majors, but I'm gonna go with overrated.
All right, Tyler Hero Prism Rookie.
PSA 10.
PSA 10 is 2,830.
So a couple things. I think Tyler Hero is super fun. I think he's swaggy as shit. I think he's a real good ball player. I'm gonna go with aggressively overrated, and I'm gonna use this opportunity to make a bigger point. I think the biggest vulnerability in sports cards right now is rookie chasing for people that wanna sit on it a little bit longer than within 3 and 6 and 9 and 12 week windows. Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady, I can go on and on. Tim Duncan, who's a top fucking 12 player of all time. John Stockton, Reggie Miller. Like, if you look at the data around how much is a hero? $230 or something like that? Right now, because people are day trading, buying and flipping, these young players. LaMelo Ball is gonna go through stuff. I think he's a baller. Like, it's gonna be this thing. I also hate that year. That's last year, right? Panini made 1 trillion of them. It's the same reason Morant and Zion. I don't like the whole thing. I don't like the rookie spec thing at all that's going on for this reason. 90% of the people that are being bought right now, this last 4 years, somebody's gonna get held with the bag. Like, Jason Tatum is a baller. Is he gonna be one of the 25 greatest players of all time? Because if he's not.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. Think about it. If you're spending $230 on like Sexton, Hero, John Morant, Tatum, God, all these guys, right? They're not going to be top 20 players ever. And even at that point, you can buy Tim Duncan, Topps Chrome rookie PSA 9s. I believe they're like 800, but 800. I want to say. I mean, seriously, like, it's just the amount of money going into some of these Panini Prisms that they like mass produce is kind of crazy. Good for the market in general, I guess, because it brings notoriety. But for long-term investing, yeah, I don't think I agree with them. Someone's gonna get stuck with a lot of like Heroes and Sextons that they put a lot of money into.
Then his rookie card in 12 years is gonna be a real fucking problem. AKA, somebody's gonna pay a lot more today than it's gonna be worth a lot less in 12 years. If he wins a championship next year and is the guy, and you buy it today and you sell it that night, you're gonna make money. Donovan Mitchell, Tatum, like Jaylen Brown, like there's so many great young players, right? Trae Young, like they're loaded, there's so much talent. The problem is, look at Barkley and Malone and Ewing and Olajuwon and Duncan and like Shaq. Look at Shaquille fucking O'Neal, culturally and actual player. He was also a rookie during high production years, and his cards are not expensive. Tyler Hero rookie cards are more than Shaq fucking rookie cards in the same production. And even, I'm going off the top of my head, I bet you if you look at the pops on certain Shaq PSA 10s, like the Topps regular and the fucking Stadium Club and the Upper Deck versus Tyler Hero Prisms, Tyler Hero's more expensive. And there's still a ton of Tyler Hero in wax. Tyler Hero's not gonna end up being a better all-time player than Shaquille O'Neal. I'm ready to put that down right now. I think people are gonna get crushed when the momentum goes the other way. I think day trading day to day, and you know what's going on in sports, you know who's hurt, who's got an opportunity, that's fun. But I hate the long-term nature of the majority of the rookie speculating across the board. Of course, there'll be 4 to 5 guys that become Kobe's, LeBron's, 2 or 3 guys that become Kobe, LeBron, Shaq's, Tim Duncan's. You have to really hit it. You gotta really get Mike Trout or LeBron, otherwise, look at how inexpensive Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony are. Most of these, almost 98% of these rookies will not be better than Carmelo Anthony all time on the top 500 list.
Yes, sip the tea after that rant. I agree fully on that. I've had he's had interesting comments over the past couple of years that I've had my thoughts on, but I gotta admit, so far in this video, he's spot on. Like what he just said, 100%. You can go buy like Olajuwon, Barkley, Ewing rookies that are just so much cheaper than some of these guys, especially Shaq. Shaq's like very undervalued. So yeah. I finished my tea, so I can't sip the tea on that one, but agree with what he said right there.
2003 Topps Chrome LeBron James.
Grossly underrated. I have 53 of them. I didn't pay over $1,100 for it.
All right, this is the one that I'm like kind of torn on, right? So it's like, Technically, the Jordans just sold for what, like 300-400, and one hit like 600,000 and 700,000. So the Jordans are climbing up to that space, but there's a lot lower pop count on them. I know the LeBron has a low pop count as well, like relatively speaking. It's like a $30,000 card right now. That's crazy. I mean, yeah, that's tough. Let me hear his logic one more time, and I'll give my final opinion.
Any of them, they're 20,000 now. It's going to be a $100,000 card one day. LeBron James and Michael Jordan. How many are there? 2,400 or something like that?
There's 21,000
Overall.
40.
PSA 10s, I mean.
370.
No, that's Jordan 86. I'm talking about LeBron.
I'm sorry. 2,000. Wow.
I'm on my shit.
Wow.
2,000.
So there's 2,000, and he thinks they're gonna be 100K one day. That's a toughie. That one's a tough one. I mean, I agree that in terms of like all time, it's Jordan and LeBron. So if you look at it from purely that perspective, and you think it's gonna reach some multiple of the Jordan rookie, then yeah, I mean, 30,000 into 100,000 is a damn good return. So you know what? I'll go undervalued. Why not? Just for fun, we'll go undervalued.
83.
Right.
83.
Right. So to me, I know 2,063 people that are going to want a LeBron perfect PSA 10 Chrome rookie over the next decade.
Yeah, sorry to keep pausing, but that's one more point to be made, right? I mean, a lot of like high-end, high net worth individuals and like asset management firms and are getting involved in the space, and so when they want to invest in a high-end asset, they're gonna, demand like the LeBrons, the Jordans. So that's just gonna continue to drive the price up. So he does make a good point there. A thing to consider when you're spending 30 grand on a card is that long-term value right there.
People, I've got 53 of them. Other people got like that card's going to the moon.
Michael Jordan PSA 10 1980.
I hate Michael Jordan more than anybody. I own two, I think. I might have three. Which is the biggest mistake I've made in the 3 years I've been in, because I've been yelling. You can watch videos 3 years ago, I fucked this up. I paid $30K for mine. There's 317 of them. It's $230,000. I'd be stunned if it's not $1 million. The most underrated card. It is the Mona Lisa of modern. It is a big regret I have for not having more.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with him more on that one than the LeBron for sure. Just because of the pop count and the demand. That's like a purely just like, that's like an artwork card, right? That's like pure like artwork card. People are gonna demand it. An iconic card, and considering the mantles, like 8, I think an 8 just hit like 1.7, 1.8, so that means a 7 will probably get to $1 million eventually. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jordan's definitely underrated, even at the current price point, because I agree it could be that $1 million card one day.
Golf cards.
Golf cards are underrated, because outside of Tiger, I don't even know what a Phil Mickelson rookie looks like in my eyes, or Johnson, Spieth, or whoever is like rocking there. So I'm gonna go with slightly underrated. I think all cards, Garbage Pail Kids, Batman, the A-Team, golf, I think all of it right at this second, underrated in a 3-year window.
Wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know about that, because I'm inclined to say yes, but at the same time, it's all about demand, right? So it's like, if a lot of people are buying it up, is the demand truly going to be there for those cards? I haven't seen it like over the course of my lifetime in cards, which has been 11 years. So the market always shifts. That is very true. Tech investments are now a thing when 30 years ago people were investing in like JCPenney and Sears, right? Even longer than that. So yeah, to be fair, market shifts. So maybe, but I'd probably stick to the main sports personally if I was investing my money.
Grossly underrated. I think the Bumblebee, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I think I own 2 of those. PSA 10, which I think there's 30 of, which is like now 14,000. I think it's massively underpriced. Talk about a 6-figure card. These guys are in culture. They're also, Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant are much more the Hulk and Batman than they are Hank Aaron and Roberto Clemente. I think wrestling cards, great community in wrestling. If wrestling has like 16 to 25 people in the wrestling community get hardcore about cards, that's a big ecosystem of diehards that I think come in hard. I think wrestling is actually very underpriced.
2019 Panini.
I would agree. The Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant are definitely underpriced. So if you're gonna get into wrestling, I'd probably stick to those 2.
Prism, Zion Williamson.
Grossly overpriced. What's the production? Overrated.
26,926, 14,673.
Massively. I'm more confident that Luka's a top 15 player than Zion at the second. It's just too much inventory. Like, these guys have to go on to become one of the 15 best players of all time to make these numbers work. I think the Zion's like $700-800. It's been 1,000. Like, I don't see it. Garnett, like, is Zion gonna be better than Garnett all time?
Probably not.
I think so, but like, I'm not confident. I just think there's way too much risk. There's so many places to spend $700 better today. So many places. You know, we've talked about, I think one of the underrated places is that 90s era, that, you know, Garnett, Ray Allen, Iverson, Manu Ginobili. There's some cheap, good deals there compared to these youngsters, who I love, great kids, but fuck.
2003 Mega Craquez Cristiano Ronaldo.
There's so few of these Ronaldo and Messi cards. Let's do a lot of imaging post-image so everybody can see this. How much is it, do you know?
I don't know.
There's so few, right?
We don't know the population. There's 38 PSA 10s.
Yeah, I mean, underrated.
Yeah.
It's one of the 10 best proper football players of all time. He's
agree with
culturally
that one.
relevant. Soccer cards are gonna continue to go up. It's a good chunk below Messi, if I recall. I haven't looked recently, but I'm gonna go underpriced.
2013 top bloodline Conor McGregor auto.
Underpriced. I think UFC cards are underpriced. I bought 2 of those UFC Conors recently.
Yeah, but McGregor's not even that great of a fighter. I mean, I hate saying that, but I guess just because of his namesake, you can justify some of these investments just because of the pop count. But I don't know, maybe like other places would be better investments. But sure, looking at it from purely like a namesake perspective and what they're going for now, we could probably say they're underrated.
And
it's a cool design. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty badass design.
UFC cards are underpriced. MMA is a huge sport for a long time. Like, I think people haven't gotten there yet. I think UFC is a place to go.
There's only 36, population 27.
It's a really interesting card.
2018 top update Juan Soto.
All you need to launch a cult skate
With the
brand.
ad.
Honestly, as long as you have a
I think properly priced. I think there's a ton of inventory there as well. I think it's cheap though compared to the basketball stuff. And I think Soto could be the best player. He could be one of the 17 best players of all time. He's young, Derrick Rose again. But I'm gonna go with,
Okay, no, he's not going to be a top 17 player ever. I mean, the fact that people don't even consider, like, Sandy Koufax top 20. I mean, some people don't, right? Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, and they're like, the 10s are like, what, 300 to 400 right now? Yeah, that's expensive. But I'm gonna go probably overrated, but that's just my opinion.
underpriced. I like that card a lot. I like Soto a lot. I have 25 of those, I think, at this point. Maybe more. Maybe 75.
Luka's mother's autograph.
I think that's an underrated story. This is
Most underrated card in the market. The Lulu signature, must buy. That's definitely a must buy.
like a rumor that goes around that Luka's mom signed his cards his rookie year, not him. I really haven't done it. I don't get excited about conspiracy theories, so I don't have really a lot of info, but it's an underrated story.
Kaboom inserts.
Kaboom inserts are underrated. This has been the biggest thing that my brother AJ has invested in. I think 85% of AJ's behavior is Kaboom. I've got probably a mix of like 35, 40 Kabooms, mainly basketball 2013. I do have a bunch of Sam Darnold Kabooms, so I've got a lot riding on Sammy. But probably only like 40 or 50 overall. Kaboom is an insert that's extremely rare. They've got the comic book element, they've got the supply and demand element, they've got the heat on the street. Kaboom's like, you know what Kaboom is? I can see like Michael B. Jordan, the actor, being like, I'm gonna get into this, be like, oh, these Kabooms are fresh, right? Like, I can see like DaBaby being like, all right, GaryVee, like, and I'll be like, here's what you should buy, Jordan. And he'll be like, fuck it, I'm gonna get these Kabooms, they're fucking fresh. They're icy. They're the one. The Kaboom insert to me is the one. I think they're grossly underpriced. I think with the comic book and how rare they are, as people get educated about Kaboom, I think that's the one.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially the older ones. I know now they're a little more mass-produced, but definitely some of their earlier 2013, 2014, are definitely undervalued and underrated, I would say. I agree with them. They are kind of they are pretty fresh. I've never owned one. I need to own some. I'll probably, if I ever buy some, I'll make a video on that. But they are fresh, and they do have that kind of iconic look.
2017 Prism Patrick Mahomes.
I own none of those, regrettably. What's the population of the PSA 10?
849.
Yeah, I think it's underpriced. I think Patrick Mahomes, barring injury, becomes one of the best quarterbacks, if not.
It's like a $14,000 card right now. So I mean, that's a depends who you're comparing it to, right? I don't know the Brady refractors 10s off the top of my head, but this is a hard set to grade, I will admit. So the pop will stay low, and you have to remember every card that year for a rookie was a silver. They didn't have a base version, so keep that in mind. For now, we'll go underrated, undervalued. He's playing the Super Bowl in a couple days, so we'll see. I'll go undervalued for now, but that's hesitantly because it's already at like 14 grand.
Top 3 quarterbacks of all time. I'm pretty sad I don't have any of those.
1979 OPG.
OPG, grossly underpriced. I mean, are we saying the PSA 10? Yeah, I mean, aren't there 3 of them or 2? Yeah, I mean, somebody just paid over $1 million for it. If in 10 years, if that's a $10 million card, that would make sense to me. I think it's grossly underpriced. He's the greatest hockey player of all time, super rare, there's only 2 in the world. You get into Mona Lisa shit, underpriced.
Card
Fully agree.
funds.
Card funds are underrated. I don't think people realize how many people are circling around raising $5, $10, $15 million that are gonna lead to $10 million Wayne Gretzky, gonna lead to Kaboom's being 10x, lead to Jordan being $1 million. I think card funds, real capital, Wall Street life, you know, I'm not involved in any. I don't know any real detail, but I know I get emailed all the time like, I am Stanley Thompson from Merrill Lynch. We are putting together a $10 million fund to buy sports cards. Would you like? And I'm trying to stay very omni. It's why I'm trying to be transparent with what my holdings are, my opinions here. But if you look at all my videos, I think I've been ridiculously historically correct. And I feel like card funds are underrated. I don't think people understand the financial impact of $400 million coming into the market trying to get the top 10% of stuff.
Yeah, that goes based on what we were talking about earlier, right? With the fact that some of these cards, like, they may sound overpriced now, but if you're going for purely just the iconics, like the Jordan, the LeBrons, the Gretzkys, I mean, that's where these funds are going to start buying up, right? Like, those are the cards that these funds are going to say, hey, you know what? If the supply is this and the demand's that, we're just going to buy it at that price. I mean, look at bid-ask spreads, right? Like, it doesn't, you know, as the price just keeps getting driven up as like people just keep buying more off the market. So if somebody buys it for $5 million, the next one could just be like, hey, 5.5, okay, I bought. Price keeps rising. And when the pop count's low, not many in the market. Yeah, I tend to agree with what he said.
The bubble.
The bubble is underrated in the reverse. This is why everything is in detail, right? Like I think like at any moment, you know, Pokemon can come out, video games can come out, like things change. Something might capture the attention of all these people. Comic books, graded video games, like, you know, you gotta always pay attention to that. You should always be worried you're in a bubble, which means you don't mortgage the house, you're smart, you're thoughtful, you do things that you like, things you can afford. Every card I own, I make pretend I go to 0. And I think people have to do that.
19...
Don't underestimate the bubble, because that shit will pop on your face.
1961 clear Oscar Robertson.
Did John Morgenstern have anything to do with this list?
Yeah, he's helping all the time.
I love it. I own probably about 9 or 10 of these, maybe 12, under 20 for sure. Listen, I think vintage is under, 61 Fleer basketball, 70 Tops basketball, 72 Tops basketball, the Jordan Magic Bird. Like, I think vintage basketball is wildly underpriced.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with him. I mean, it's very simple, you know, like even if a bubble pops, this stuff's not going to go down. It's going to be like what we talked about, the heroes, the Sextons, the rookies who aren't going to be like an Oscar Robertson type player. I mean, those have like 10,000 pop counts. I mean, when this card has like, you know, such a low pop count, the supply and demand's always going to be there. Not the supply. The demand's always going to be there and the supply will always be very low. So you're always going to have an excess demand versus supply, which drives up price. So I agree. I think a lot of vintage rookies are very, very undervalued and underrated.
3-year broken record on this, so I'm gonna go in general. Are we saying which PSA or is it just that card?
There's one PSA 10.
Yeah, I mean that's stupid.
That's 1,100 total.
Yeah, I think the top 50 players in the NBA in history are collectively underpriced. And Oscar 61 is one of those cards. That's, you know, the 48 Mike, and those cards are just gonna keep. Everyone's like, oh, my Dr. J hasn't gotten as much as this thing. I'm like, sure, but like,
yeah.
2003 top
Slow rise.
Who's that?
Another ad.
A free TurboTax live tax expert.
Why do you need a tax expert?
His advice is free, and I can file for free.
Is my son still a dependent if he eats my food?
File a simple return for free, now with advice from a TurboTax live expert.
Wait.
How many are the PSA 10s are there?
654.
Do you know how much it is right now?
No.
Cool. I think Dwayne Wade's underpriced because of what I think he's up to post-career. I think he's a top 100 player, and I think he's culturally relevant. If Dwayne Wade ended up being president of the United States of America, that would not surprise me based on his humanity, his amazingness as a human. Oh, by the way, I own probably 4 or 5 of these. His culture, he's just a leader. Him and his wife, his family, I think he's underpriced. So I'm gonna go with underrated.
eBay.
Underrated. It's the.
Nah, I gotta disagree. Overrated. Gotta come use our platform once it's live. That's my shameless plug right there. Come use our platform once we're live. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much the end of the video. So I'll end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I should probably do some more of these reaction videos. There's some cool videos in the YouTube space made by other people that I'd like to give my opinions on as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this. Hopefully I was a little bit entertaining on this Friday. And you know, until next time.